By now, you've probably heard this from just about everyone. Content is king. The more content you generate, the better your website will rank. The better your ranking, the more traffic you'll receive, and the more traffic you receive, the more sales you can make. But you're probably wondering where you can get all this content. Not everyone has the time to write blog posts or create videos, and a lot of people I know just don't feel like they're good writers. It's important to remember, content doesn't have to be great literature. It can be a few simple paragraphs talking about your business or how your product helps people. Make it informative, make it entertaining, but most of all, make it personal and from the heart. That's the #1 best way to engage readers. In this video, I'd like to share with you 7 great ways to create killer content that we use here at Noble Samurai. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, hit the record button. How many times have you had a great discussion or brainstorming session and at the end of it thought, gee, I wish we'd recorded that? We found ourselves doing it all the time, so finally we decided to make sure we hit the record button as part of our discussion process. You'll often find that your best ideas come to light when you really get into the flow of a discussion or when you're debating something passionately. This is a great way to capture ideas and thoughts on the fly, which you can refer back to later and use to create content. To record our sessions, we use the voice recording feature on a smartphone or software such as QuickTime on a laptop. Then we do a quick edit to identify the key areas which are worth saving. These recordings can become podcasts, or you can use them to write blog posts, articles, or white papers. Number 2, hunt for gold nuggets. The second way to create great content easily is to do a Google search for the term you're interested in, and then read the top 10 or 20 articles. As you read, look out for ideas that jump out at you or make you think, that's a good idea. We call these gold nugget ideas. You can then organize these gold nugget ideas by making a mind map using software such as FreeMind or MindNode Pro. Once you're done, just sit down and describe each of these gold nugget ideas in your own words to create an original article or podcast that encapsulates the best ideas in your area of interest. We first learned this approach from our good friend Pete Williams. We've used it to produce content that sounds polished and refined, but creating it actually doesn't take much longer than having a chat with a good friend. This is a great way to eliminate the dreaded writer's block once and for all. Number 3, put yourself on the spot. If you have a lot of expertise in your topic area, one of the best ways to create content fast is to give a live presentation in front of real people. This doesn't have to be a huge event. It can just be a presentation to a few friends or to a local group, such as a professional society or a community college course. Setting a deadline for a real-world presentation will create positive pressure that will make you sit down and get your ideas sorted. You will also be amazed at what you can come up with on the fly when you are really switched on and connecting with an audience. When you present, make sure you record your presentation so that you can repurpose the content for blog posts, podcasts, and so on. Number 4, interview others. Another great way to generate content quickly and easily is to interview other people about their expertise and personal experiences. Remember, the purpose of these interviews is to provide valuable information to your listeners, not to promote yourself or the person you're interviewing directly. It's also good to prepare a list of questions and send them to your interview subject ahead of time, so they can be thinking about their responses. And be sure to allow the person you're interviewing to do most of the talking. Remember how annoying it is when you hear an interviewer always interrupting the guest. Number 5, ask your readers to ask you. Instead of trying to read your subscribers' minds and identify topics that they would be interested in, a great way to generate topic ideas is to add an Ask Us button on your blog or webinar sign-up page. Get people to submit questions and use these to generate content ideas. Be sure to mention that you may not be able to reply directly to every question, but that you will use their input to create compelling articles and videos. Number 6, review topical products. Another great way to generate content quickly is to review products, books, podcasts, and so on. When you do this, make sure you actually buy and use the product, then describe your personal experience. A good approach for a structure is introduction, what you like, what you don't like, conclusion. Number 7, open up. Bloggers and online business owners sometimes feel that they should only talk about their successes and try to maintain a perfect online persona. However, The reality is that people will often engage much more with you when you open up and talk frankly about your struggles, difficulties, and failures. This, in turn, can lead to more sales, which just goes to show that failure can sometimes be more profitable than success. Remember to always ensure that there are some useful takeaway ideas for the readers. Being honest and open doesn't just mean complaining. Talking about the hurdles you've overcome can help others to solve their own problems, and they'll remember who inspired them. Okay, so that's our top 7 tips for creating killer content quickly and easily. With many of these approaches, you will end up with either a rough audio recording or a video recording of yourself talking about your content. The next step is to convert this rough cut recording into a finished article. There are 2 ways to do this, depending on your budget. The first is to edit the material yourself. While this does take time, most people find that editing something that exists is much easier and quicker than starting with a blank screen and trying to write articles from scratch. The second option, if your budget allows it, is to outsource the editing to a writer or editor. There are a number of sites online where people with tasks to perform can connect with people who have the time and skills to offer and set up simple deals safely. One example that's good for very small or quick jobs is Fiverr.com. As the name suggests, they focus on jobs which can be done for about $5. This isn't the way to get a quality blog post done, but you could pay someone to pick out 10 quick ideas from your recording and then use a service like Buffer.com to schedule them to go out on Facebook or Twitter. When it comes to transcribing video and audio content, we've found there are many transcription services out there, some starting as low as $5 per hour. But generally you get what you pay for, and we've had far better results with places which charge in the $40 to $80 per hour range. At the moment, we use castingwords.com. If you're looking for an editor to work with, we recommend odesk.com, servicescape.com, or elance.com. These sites allow you to post a job description and then interview editors and writers around the world until you find someone you're comfortable working with. One quick tip we use is to put specific questions into the jobs listing so that you can be sure that people who respond have really read your proposal in detail and aren't just firing off bids en masse. Also, because we generally want to find someone to work with on a long-term basis, we pay 3 of the most interesting applicants to produce a sample article for $40 or $50 each. We can then assess the speed of delivery, the frequency of communication, and the overall quality of their work. Once you've found the right person to work with, you can expect to pay around $50 for a 1,000 to 1,500 word article. So, just to recap our top 7 tips for generating killer content fast. Hit the record button. Hunt for gold nuggets. Put yourself on the spot. Interview others. Ask your readers to ask you. Review topical products. And open up. Once you've got your initial thoughts down, you can then either edit these yourself or hire a professional to make things even easier. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any content creation tips to share, please leave a comment.